Hello, so my name's Nigel. I thought I'd do a short video and just let you know what my experience was like using Attelia in Antalya as a dentist. As you can see, I've got some nice teeth there. They're not actually permanent, these are temporary teeth. I'm going back in 6 months, but we'll talk a little bit more about what's happening to me. I thought this video would be useful because I should imagine you're like me, you've been looking at different YouTube videos. You decided you want to have some dental work done in Turkey, you just can't decide which clinic to have and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to talk about how my actual experience was with Attelia. I'll give you a spoiler alert, I recommend them, but it's not quite as you think it's going to be. So hopefully this video will give you a bit of a reality check, and you'll be able to prepare yourself a bit better for when you actually go, if you decide to have the work done. So making contact, I did via WhatsApp and sent some pictures of my teeth to them. They acknowledged straight away within their working hours. Obviously they're 2 hours ahead to us, and I think I sent my pictures over on a Sunday night, so didn't expect to reply until the Monday anyway. They acknowledged receipt and said that the dentist are looking at it and they'll come back with a quote, and they did that day. So the first tip here is, if you can, send x-rays, because what they suggested to me never actually happened. That's nobody's fault, apart from the fact that I'm 49 and I've smoked most of my life, so my bones weren't as good as they need to be for implants, but we'll cover that shortly. Whereas if I'd sent an x-ray, they would have been able to say, you know, truly what the situation is. Anyway, the actual attentiveness and the speed that they replied and all that was really, really good. I decided to go ahead, so they said, well, let us know when you book flights. And they gave me a choice of 5 different hotels, which they pay for. A couple are all-inclusive and others are half-board. I picked Hotel SU, S-U, which is half-board, and I'm glad I did. The second top tip here is when you do actually arrange it, ask for a sea view room. It makes a really, really big difference. You're going to have a couple of really down days, where you're not going to want to leave your hotel room. So it's good if you have a nice view and so on and so on. It cost me £5 a day extra for that, which I paid to the clinic. So well worth it. The second thing as well is the hotel is very white. Literally the walls, the furniture, everything is white, and then in the evenings they have like red ambient lighting, so it's actually really cool, but it takes a bit of getting used to. But the whole point is all the bedding is white and everything. If you're going to have some dental work done, there's a good chance that you might bleed overnight, so make sure you bring some towels or something to protect the bedding. I was speaking to one person there who had a really bad bleed one night, and it cost them well over £100 to the hotel to replace the pillows and the duvet and everything. So I just took a towel with me and just laid it over the pillow, and that did the job for me. But that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is pack things like pot noodles or pasta and sauces. The hotel food is actually really, really good. And they do actually cater for people who are having dental work. The mashed potato is really good. And they have fresh pasta as well with bolognese sauce or tomato sauce, which is really easy to eat. And at breakfast, they have an omelette station, which is easy to eat. So you're catered for. But when you have a lot of work done, you're quite paranoid about your mouth and how you look when you're eating, so you may just want to stay in your room, kind of thing. So if you've got a few cup of soups or like a pot noodle or something like that, you can just stay in your room that night and not worry about how you look or if you're making a mess of yourself, that kind of thing. And also bring books with you, or or a decent set of headphones or something like that. There's quite a bit of waiting around when you get to the clinic, but we'll get to that shortly. So they're my first tips. If you can, send an X-ray. You'll get a much more accurate quote. Ask for a sea view room if you stay at Hotel Sue. Don't be fooled by the all-inclusive. Booze isn't that expensive, and plus, you're not going to drink a hell of a lot. I just drank the local beer, FS, which I liked anyway, and that was 45 lira, so just over £2, something like that. Spirits are a little bit more expensive, but you have to remember it's a Muslim country, so alcohol will be just that little bit pricier. It's no problem, it being a Muslim country. You can drink fine, and it's not an issue. But I should imagine that's why the price is a little bit higher. Whereas things like, smoothies and milkshakes and all that are really cheap, and they're really good as well. So anyway, so I got my quote from them. I booked my flights, let them know when that was. Everything was arranged, and they got in contact with me about a week before, just to make sure everything was okay my end, and said that there'll be somebody there at the airport waiting for me, which there was when I arrived at Antalya airport. It's about a 20-minute drive. The airport's right by the city, which is handy. Had my own little mini bussy type thing, which took me straight to the hotel. Everything's paid for by the clinic, so I didn't have to leave a credit card or anything like that, which I was surprised about. I thought I might have had to, in case, try to put things on my room or something like that. And then that was great. And then I was expecting day one, so I flew on a Sunday. Day one was going to be my appointment on a Monday, which originally was at 2:00 in the afternoon. So I went to bed, woke up about 7:45 the following morning, saw that they'd WhatsApped me overnight saying that my appointment was at 9:00 to be picked up at 8:30. So a quick shower. Didn't really have time for breakfast that morning, but that's the way it is. And then this is when you start finding out that the service that you receive isn't what you see on their videos. So you may have guessed I'm not an influencer or a YouTuber or any other social media type things. I'm just a normal person. I've paid for everything myself, and so on and so on. It seems like these influencers get treated maybe slightly different to the rest of us. There wasn't any red carpet or anything like that. You didn't get taken from the hotel by limousine to the clinic. There was about 12 of us were being picked up in a minibus. Don't get me wrong, the minibus was perfectly comfortable. It was clean and plenty of seats, and it was comfortable and all that kind of thing, but not quite what you're expecting. They keep using the term VIP all the time and how you're going to get treated. But anyway, so you get to the clinic, and it's really big, it's really clean. The staff are absolutely lovely. They couldn't be nicer. They really couldn't. There's a little coffee bar there where you can get a latte or a smoothie or other things, and they've got sandwiches and stuff like that. So you're looked after, but it's a really busy place. And this is where you start finding out how busy it is. There's a lot of waiting around. I think they see about 100 people a day, and there's probably up to 10 dentists or something like that. So you could be lucky and you could be the first one to go in. You could be unlucky, you could be the last one to go in. So I think that first thing is, I got there about 5 to 9. I didn't get seen until about 10 to 11. So there was a lot of waiting around. So I learned the second day to take a book with me. But that's frustrating. The second frustration is when you're finished and they said, that's it, your next appointment is on whatever day. We'll arrange a transport back to your hotel. That can take forever as well. You could be waiting, 45 minutes to an hour before you get taken back, which is really annoying as well, because you just want to get back. You're sat in that, sometimes, it's standing room only in the clinic because there's so many people there. But there's a nice seating area outside. And I went end of March, early April, so the weather was just starting to get nice, but it's annoying having to wait around again. So anyway, So what happened to me is my first thing was having an X-ray there, and then they do I can't remember, the topography or something, this spinning round X-ray, and then basically said that they can't do the work that they said they were going to do. And the reason behind that is the implants have a lifetime guarantee, and my bone just simply wasn't good enough. That's the result of being a smoker most of my adult life and not really looking after my dental health, unfortunately. So I had a new quote, which is more money, but there was also other people there that had got there and they've been told, actually, we don't need to do as much, and it costs them less money. So that's quite reassuring, really. And actually, on this first trip, on my last day, they actually gave me 400 quid back, because they had charged me for some work that they didn't need to do, so they gave it back. So that, it's all up front with the pricing. You get the 10% discount for cash and so on and so on. But they can only know what to do with you once they actually see your X-ray. So that's why, if you can, send an X-ray before you commit to anything, before you go over there, because you have a better idea of what work they're going to need to do and how much it's going to cost you. It's going to cost me roughly about 30% more than I originally imagined over the course of a couple of visits, which I'm absolutely fine with. I've got no problem with that, but obviously it wasn't what I was expecting. So the next day was the Tuesday, and that's when I had the majority of my work done. I had some extractions, had about 6 or 7 root canals. Didn't feel a thing, absolutely no pain at all. The numbing was really good. Obviously, you can feel them doing work on you, the actual physical being moved, but absolutely no pain at all. But I did bleed a bit after, and just sat there, and obviously, you're holding with tissues and that kind of thing. And I did get a little bit down one of my tops, which was bloody annoying, but managed to get that out. Thank you, Vanish, when I got home. So Tuesday was a bad day for me. I felt like I got beaten up. I was in the clinic for 9 hours. I had some teeth shaven down in anticipation for crowns. Had quite a few extractions. I actually had a tooth up here in my underneath where my moustaches that I never knew about, so they had to remove that and had to cut into the top of my mouth to pull that out. Then I had the root canals as well. So I was in the clinic for about 9 hours all in all, seeing 3 different dentists. So that was a long day. So when I got back to the hotel, I really couldn't face seeing anyone, being sat in the restaurant and trying to eat. So I'm really glad that I took those pot noodles with me, so at least I could get some food in me. So yeah, I really would advise doing that. They have some soup at the clinic in packets, so you can grab a couple of those to take back to the hotel with you if need be. But the pasta and sauce things are great. They were absolutely perfect, and the pot noodles as well were really good. Then the rest of the week for me was just going back in and having these tried. They tried that. I had Thursday off. Then I went back on Friday and they tried these. My dentist wasn't that happy. She wanted to make a couple of adjustments. So I had to wait a couple of hours again, but fortunately I had a book. I had James Acaster's book, by the way, about his scrape. It's very funny. I do recommend it. So Friday evening, about 8 o'clock in the evening, eventually they fitted these. I couldn't eat for 2 hours, which was a bit annoying because the restaurant was closed by the time I got back. So I went to bed quite hungry, but wasn't even allowed water or anything like that to allow the cement to dry so the teeth got a good chance of staying in. So and then I went back in Saturday morning, had a checkup. The dentist just checked that she was happy that they'd stayed in and they were still in the right place and everything. And then flew home Sunday morning. They come and picked me up from the hotel and took me to the airport as promised. So all in all, pretty good, but it's different to the YouTube videos, and that's it. I've been talking for nearly 15 minutes now, but it's just, lower your expectations a little bit. You're going to get treated extremely well at the clinic. Your patient coordinator, mine was lovely, really nice girl. very sympathetic, and she could tell when I was a bit confused about what was going on and would take the time to explain things, despite them being really busy. The dentist was absolutely lovely as well. A little bit of English, but not a lot, but didn't need to because your patient coordinator was fluent. They're happy to answer any of your questions. The bizarre thing is a lot of them smoke. I mean, my dentist smoked. And I've just spent the last 5-6 years being told off constantly by my dentist for smoking. Incidentally, I've given up smoking now. It's been 6 days. I'm a miserable git because of it, but hopefully I'll last. But yeah, so I'm going back in 6 months, and hopefully my bone will be better, and they'll be able to take the implants. So I briefly mentioned that at the beginning of the video about the implants. So Attelia offer a lifetime guarantee that the implants will stay in. But obviously there's conditions with that. They're only going to put them in if they're happy that they're going to stay in place. My bone was 5mm too low. So they've done some work, and hopefully the bone will get better and stronger. I've had some graft done. I think when I go back, I'm going to have a sinus lift, which doesn't sound very nice, but hey. And then hopefully they'll be able to put the implants in for me. And then I'll be back in another 6 months' time. I'll finally have the zirconium crowns, permanent ones, put on, which should last for about 20 years. And given the fact that I'm nearly 50, that should be fine for me. Yeah, so all in all, really happy. I do strongly recommend Attelia. They seem to know what they're doing. It's very clean, very organised, very professional, but they are very busy. There's a lot of waiting around, and unless you've been on Love Island or some crap and you pout a lot with a fake tan, lower your expectations. You're not going to get treated like you get treated in them videos you've seen. Anyway, that's it from me. Don't bother subscribing or anything. This is the only video I think I've ever done. There won't be any updates. I may answer if there's comments, questions or something like that, but don't count on it. If you want to like it, fill your boots. I honestly don't care. I've got no aspirations of being a YouTuber. Anyway, good luck with your dental work. Cheers.